Hello, everybody. My name is Natalie, and I am here with two golden goddesses, Rachel Smithbone and Emily Doe. Our presence shifts the room. We're feeling that energy, and we're here today to take you to the edge of what we do not know. But we're gonna talk into the edge. But you are coming into the Power Pod, and this is all about vocal voyage. It's all about people that come in here to share the truth of their voice and how they use it in their business, how they use it in their life, and how it shifted and changed. Changed your paths, changed your frequencies. Um, yeah, just changed so much through actually speaking out loud. So welcome, Emily. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and I love anyone that is willing to speak. Yeah,
Ooh.
to show up and speak. So we're going to talk first of all from the subject of from fear to fearless truth telling, and I'm sure that means something different to you that it means to me, that it means to Emily. But we're here today for you, Rach, for you to express from your vocal cords. What was the moment or experience that helped you start speaking your truth out loud, and how did that shift feel on a personal level? Like, how did it feel, internally?
Mm.
One moment that you can remember.
The main moment that I remember is actually what I'm going to talk about in my my I don't know what to talk call it, 'cause it's not a presentation. Oh my God, boring. It's not like a performance. It's like expression. I don't know, but that there is a moment, and it is one of those moments in life where what our friend Sarah Lloyd would call a sliding doors moment, where you literally know that if you take one path, your life is going to be different. Or if you take the other path, your life is going to go in a different direction. And you have the choice. Like the choice. I'm deliberately going to tease you guys. How bad is that? How much playing the edge against the rules is that? Because you'll have to hear the full story. You need to come on November the 13th in Bristol, because that's where I'm going to tell this story.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was one of those moments in life that I will literally never forget, because I chose expansion over fear. I chose to go
Feel
big and go to my edges publicly, because I knew that who I would be on the other side of that moment was who I wanted to be.
Mm, mm.
Mm. And that, to me, that's the power of, like, we get those moments in life where we get to make a choice. We get to make a choice to really say yes and dive into an experience and to let it move us and change us. Or we get to kind of retract back into our fear and choose not to go to the edge and not to go to that expansive place and claim that other part of ourselves.
Mm. And was there any specific feeling in the body that you can remember or recall?
Do you know, funnily enough, I was prepping for the session next week this morning, and I came across totally random synchronicity. I came across a piece of writing that I did when I trained as a gong therapist nearly a decade ago. And I had detailed this exact experience because I didn't ever want to forget how it felt. Because I knew, like, even that's the wild thing, that even in that moment, I knew that I just shattered something that was holding me back in real time in that moment. It wasn't like oh, with the benefit of hindsight, it was that moment I could feel it. And how, if I was to try and bring you into the embodiment of that, in my notes, so that I would never forget, what I'd written was, I felt like I was bigger, like my whole energy field had increased. My
Mm.
heart was beating more not faster, more expansively.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't take my hand off my heart because I had to be connected to that part of me that had just emerged.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
I
juicy.
love that. Juicy, 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 Lucy. And I just want to talk about that. At that point, were there any dragons?
As in,
'Cause
like,
I just feel like the dragons are here.
these kinds of dragons.
Yeah, was there any dragons at that
I
point?
had no clue about dragons at that point. None whatsoever. The dragons started showing up for me probably about 3, maybe 4 years ago. And
Uh-huh.
I was doing with Yolandi Boshoff. So I did a live up on sacred burial grounds near where I live, somewhere where I always do ceremonial work I'm really deeply attached to. And she messaged me afterwards and she was like, "Can I swear, by the way?"
Yes.
Yeah. She was like,
And I
"Holy."
don't know. You tell me.
Oh, I mean, I can swear really well. Is it okay on your podcast to swear? That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, she messaged me and she was like, "Holy fuck balls, Rachel. Did you see how many dragons were gathered round you as you were doing that?" Because I was doing some ceremonial activation work. And I was like, "No, not a clue." And so that was when I was first kind of introduced into the concept of dragons. But it wasn't until, God, this year, I think, when I was in Glastonbury with Natty and Sarah, and Natty had this deck and she's working on, she's writing a book about dragons, she's creating a deck about dragons, and being in her energy field activated that in me. And then
Mhm.
suddenly, it's still not my strongest sense, but I could suddenly see the dragons that were on the ceremonial ground, and I could hear them, like I could hear them singing to me, I could hear them talking through the lines, the energy dragon lines up there, but I couldn't see them. But being in Natty's energy field like activated that in me, which is just, I think, I don't know, I think that's one of the things that's so cool about being in other people's activation space in their energy, is that when they have gifts, sometimes they're going to activate in you. You just need that catalyst to activate it within yourself.
Ah, that's interesting. That's basically why we weren't allowed to gather. That's why they stopped us gathering, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Mhm.
true.
Passing each other the gift of the edge and taking each other to the edge, and like what we're going to be doing in the event when we actually get in person and we meet in person, that we can share the
Yeah.
gifts in this way.
It's awakening gifts within each other. It's activating gifts within each other. It's reminding each other. We remember. We see that reflection. Yeah, we influence and we inspire and all the stuff that just expands our energy fields and empowers us.
Totally.
Exactly. And gives us the confidence to keep going to our edge as soul-led entrepreneurs, as leaders, within, so many of us are carving the path. We're stepping first, stepping forth. So that brings me to the subject around vulnerability.
Mm.
And obviously, to use our voice is vulnerable, in everyday life, and so many people, as Pearl was sharing in Instagram Live last week, she lived so many years voiceless. So that's why I love the subject of vulnerability and the power of vulnerability. So, is there a pivotal moment, that you can remember, that pushed you to be real, where you had to just in that instant, like no masks, you had to really be very vulnerable and share your truth? Is there any one moment? I'm sure there's so many.
Yeah, there's not been one moment for me. It's been a slow unraveling since I started my business 10 years ago. Um, and there's never been one pivotal moment, but like I definitely have gone through shedding of layers to come closer and closer and closer, and it's still happening, right? I think it's ongoing permanently, or at least it is for me. But I've definitely shed layer upon layer, because I remember when I first qualified as a yoga teacher, bearing in mind that I grew up on ancestral lands with fucking portals everywhere, opening portals everywhere, and not realizing I was doing it. Like crazy psychic shit happening as a child and a young woman. And that was all going off, and I wasn't really talking to anybody about it, a very tiny group of people. And like living my life, even up to the point of training to be a yoga teacher, I was living my life in the closet, in the spiritual closet, but very much according to spiritual principles, you know, like manifesting dream jobs, like moving to London on a whim and then ended up getting amazing work and like crazy stuff happening. And I was living like that, but I wasn't talking to anybody apart from my partner and a couple of friends. I wasn't talking to anyone about it. And then when I started yoga teaching, I remember like I was building my confidence to stand in front of a room full of people and talk about the things that mattered to me. And the themes have always stayed the same. It's always about loving ourselves. That's what it always comes back to with me, like really deeply loving who we're actually born to be on this planet. And I remember like I was always caught as a new young yoga teacher. I was really caught between wanting to talk to people about the universe and not wanting to talk to people about the universe. And I remember when I used to drop it in, like pepper it into classes, it felt so vulnerable. I felt so vulnerable doing that, because even like 20 years ago, it did not go down well when I was really open with people about, oh, I'm channeling entities and I'm working with angel cards and, oh, I'm like gonna start a spiritual artwork business. Like that did not go down well 20 years ago. The world was not ready for me. It was not ready for that. And I kind of retreated back in. So then, yeah, when I was doing my yoga, teaching yoga for the first year or so, it was this real dance of like, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to mention the universe and then I'm going to retreat back and I'm going to mention it a bit more and then I'm going to retreat back. And then gradually it's like, the more I played with my own edges, the more the edge expanded. So it's like tiptoe to the edge, have a little, like, put a foot over, creep back, you know? And then, yeah, so over time, it's that process of vulnerability, of taking risks, of showing up. I've just kept incrementally expanding that and letting myself, like, the more that I've let myself be seen, the more there is to see. It's almost like the more I let others see what's real and alive in me at the moment, the more that was hidden from me comes to the surface so that I can then see it and share it. And it's almost like, I'm a 3-5, right? For people that are into human design, what that means is our whole purpose in life is to know ourselves intimately and to share that with the world by constant trial and error and reporting back what we've learned from trial and error. So for me, like it's always about like inconsistency, trying things out, seeing what doesn't work, teaching people what does work because we've learned what doesn't work, usually very publicly. So it's like that vulnerability of being a 3-5 and having to simultaneously like claim what you want publicly, claim your authority, claim your magic, whilst also failing repeatedly and changing your mind constantly. And like, I think that's just been an amazing dance for me. And it's really cool chatting to you guys about it now, because it's kind of like that vulnerability of mine. I've built an amazing capacity for my own vulnerability. Like literally this morning of recording this, I very publicly killed my signature course that I knew was going to make me money, that I knew is amazing, I know people love. It sells out year after year. And yet I had to choose the path of being authentic, which to me is a core value, because my energy wasn't behind it, and I can't deliver something when my energy isn't behind it. But I chose to go to another edge of my own vulnerability and truth publicly, because I knew that is aligned and true to who I am, and I know that is actually going to activate and help people even more. So instead of like people thinking, oh my God, she's so flaky, oh my God, she's failing, oh my God, this, that, or the other, actually, what that's going to do is show people what is possible, that you can still stand in your power and kill something that is incredible.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can resonate so much with what you've just said, Rach. And I'm not a generator. I'm not a 3-5, but I am a 5-2, and I'm a manifesting generator. So in that sense, there's so many things that's constantly shifting and changing, and my energy for a project that I was doing 3 months ago could feel very different, right now. It is the way that my energy wants to work is constantly shifting and changing into new experiences. And so, yeah. And also having my life's work in Gene Key 53, and I won't go deep into it, but it's all about new beginnings and seeds for new adventures. So yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love that you just, got vocal about that and shared that with us. Because yeah, it's powerful, isn't it, to cut something and get real with yourself and say, in actual fact, and this is the year for new beginnings as well, with the 2025, and why everything in the power of us is adding up to 9, and we've respected the year of the 9. But I suppose, like, what again? I'm always so interested. What did it feel like in your body today when you did that?
um
And was there another feeling of expansion?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, totally. It felt like I love this because I work a lot somatically with people as well, because your body always it gives you clues and it shows you what's real, right?
Keeps the
So
score. Oh yeah.
yeah, exactly. So what I did was, when I made the decision, I didn't feel anything at the moment I made the decision, but when I went on Instagram and went live to share it, it felt like this, like unlocking of energy, like a burst of energy coming out. Like I wanted to say then, like I'd let go of something that I shouldn't have been holding on to, but it wasn't so much that. It was more like there was energy tied up in this decision, and making the decision and then sharing it publicly and using it in alignment with who I am, I guess, is what unlocked something else for me. So yeah, it does feel like another moment of expansion. You're absolutely right.
And I've learned in the last couple of years about emotional hangovers. And my friend Neve, who I'm working with at the moment, Neve Aspel, in one of her courses, she talks about vulnerability hangover.
Mm.
So yeah, I think we need to keep doing these things. We need to keep making these statements to secure ourselves deeper and deeper, into our soul's calling. As you said, we're here to remember, as light workers, or whatever label you want to give yourself. Yeah, we're here to remember.
Yeah.
And I suppose the more I've done things like you're speaking about and expose myself, because it does feel exposing, then the less the vulnerability kind of hangover, the emotional hangovers become.
Mm.
And that's where I see the fountain of truth coming. We become that clear vessel to speak and work from your truth. And I can see Emily wants to say something. Go on, my love.
Yeah, I just was getting excited about the fact that, as soul-led entrepreneurs, isn't it amazing that we can make these pivots, that we have this freedom to shift and change whenever we like? We don't have somebody saying, no,
Yeah.
you're doing it, whether you like it or not. But also the fact that we so often work alone. And so we can get into our heads about this decision. It's like on one level, in our heart and our gut, we're like, no, we know this is the right decision because we've freed up we feel lighter, we've freed up some energy, we can put some, intention into something new, we've created that space and it's beautiful. But then in the, at the head level, you're like, what are people going to think? and so there's all of that. And that can feel like out of alignment. So we might, yeah, having made that decision maybe earlier today or yesterday or whenever you made that decision, you could have been going around and around with that for a while. But now that we've gotten on this call together and we've talked it out, I would hope that you're going to go away and go, yeah, I totally made the right decision. It's all cool. And free yourself from even more of that burden, And that's why it's so important that we do have these communities that we're building between each other, because it's just beautiful when we get to support each other in this way.
Yeah, totally. And I've been wrestling with this. Like I pushed it back. I pushed it back. It was supposed to start tomorrow, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to do a Wednesday. And then I pushed it back to the Sunday. And I actually, do you know, it was people reaching out to sign up that actually made me make the decision to can it. So it wasn't like it was a flop or anything. It was just like, so to me, I'm like, bad bitch. Like you are a bad bitch.
Yeah.
The brazen
And don't underestimate that how that authenticity is gonna
No.
like give permission to other people to do that, like it's always the way with anything where you're setting a boundary for yourself, it might feel uncomfortable, but you are really modeling what it is to be true to yourself.
This is it. And it the second I actually decided, I instantly felt good. I instantly knew it was the right thing. And like you said, Nat, I used to get really bad vulnerability hangovers in the early days. I'd say something, I'd be like, "Oh my God, are they gonna judge me? What are they gonna think?" But the more and I'm sure it's the same for all of us guys, right? And for anyone listening that hasn't gone on that journey yet, this I can say with hand on heart, it does actually get easier. Like 10 years of doing it, I don't feel the same, like you were alluding to, Nat. You just don't feel the same level of vulnerability because you're okay with yourself.
Exactly.
I think that's the difference. Is I've done so much work to love myself that actually I'm a bit like, you know what? People can judge me. They're gonna judge me because they're judging parts of themselves. But you know who's not judging me? Me.
That's
who. Me. Me loves me because I'm. Yeah.
I love it too, but to be able to say, I love myself. This is, like you said, it's all about self-love. It's all about coming down to love and loving themselves. And we were going to talk about owning your voice. I think you've kind of woven that in. We've woven it in already, like owning your voice and what that feels like. And I know that voice work. I've seen your future, by the way, so I know.
Please tell me. Can you please tell me my future? Oh, wonderful oracle. You're always dropping it in, and I'm like, come on, Nat, spill the beans.
Yeah, well, this is happening, like next week you're getting on stage twice.
3 times.
3 times. Okay, 3 times. You're getting on stage.
In 3 days.
3 times in 3 days. Oh my goodness. And also you're at a point because 6 months ago you'd come to watch The Power of Us and you knew that you wanted. I know what was happening for you. You were kind of like working with your edges. I want to be there. I don't want to do it. And now you're gonna be on stage 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah.
And I just want you to go inwards, actually, Rach. I'd like you to put your hand on your heart. And yeah, I'd like you to just have a little conversation with your voice. Everyone can do it if they wish, but just leading Rach into this. Your voice matters. We know that. And your presence shifts the room. What does your voice want to tell you right now? How have you been neglecting it? And the force that you've been keeping within you, which is your voice, and it is a voice to be heard, if you let that out, how far is it going to take you?
And am I answering that out loud?
Yeah, answer it out loud.
Okay. So in answer to the first question of what does my voice want me to hear right now, like literally that's what it said. It's like, let it be ugly, let it be gnarly. Like let that out. And
Mhm.
can you lead me? And that does feel, that's made me have that like shiver that sent energy down to my like sacral.
Mm,
What was
okay.
the second question?
Oh, it was all intuitive. So, yeah, like what is it? What voice is it? And if you let that energy out, then how does? Oh no, no, yeah, feeling the energy inside, the energy that you're holding back, through you're using your voice, but not using your voice. You know, there's something that your voice wants to say, and wants you to show up more.
Mm. It wants permission. No, it's not permission. It wants it wants that ugly gnarliness to come out
Hmm.
and to have a place amongst the beauty and to be witnessed publicly in that imperfection. It wants to be used in the extremities of its capability, not just in like the safe middle.
Yeah.
And how, I think the last question was how far will that go? And I just, for the first time, I guess, saw myself on big, much bigger stages,
Mhm.
which I'm guessing is exactly what you saw.
Mhm.
She still won't say it, Em. Do you see this? She's still like tickling me.
I,
I mean, let's just
you're a voice
let's just
activationist.
Yeah,
You're not. You're a voice. Let's say what you are. You're a voice activationist. Just say it out loud.
I am a voice activationist.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to activate voices.
And I think that's not just, it's voice in all senses, right? Do you think? That's my sense anyway. It's voice as in creative expression, like the
Mm.
voice of your poetry, the voice of your, like the voice of your ideas, as well as your actual physical voice.
Yeah, 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 of course.
I don't know if that feels true. I've just said that and it's not, it feels a little bit hollow. God,
Ooh.
by the way, for anyone listening, I literally love doing this kind of work in real time with an audience. Like I literally love it.
Ah,
It's so cool.
yeah, so yeah, it feels hollow, and
Yeah.
yeah, so obviously, yeah, we could continue, but just notice that hollow feeling, and if you went into the hollowness and maybe you followed the hollowness, with your gnarly way and went oh and sang into the hollow, like what's going to come out, and then that's like that, yeah, just keep following your voice, Rach.
Beautiful.
Keep following.
I think this feels very, like you say, like real time. It's playful, it's exploratory, it's all the stuff that, you're really, really good at doing, Rach. And actually, I would love for you to view the 13th of November when you're on stage for The Power of Us as in exactly the same way. I feel like this is what we're trying to do here is like, let's get over this idea that anything has to be perfect because you're going to learn something about yourself in that moment,
Mm.
and it's going to be revelationary in some way. And we don't know, we may never know, you will know when you get to that experience and you go through it and you've processed it and and then you go to the next stage and the next stage because you got 3 stages in 3 days, by the way. Well done for that.
Or if I go to my poetry open mic night the night before.
Exactly, like I did an open mic night a
I
couple of weeks ago,
know.
and I learned so much about myself. I was like, oh, I've never done this before. This is going to be pushing me to my edge. And I got there and I was like, okay, my body's telling me this is not for me. But I didn't know that until I was in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
My body told me. And then I was given the information that I needed for exactly how and where I do want to share my voice and my music and my songs. So it was just amazing because had I have not done the open mic, I may not have got that clarity. I may not have had that nugget drop into my body and my awareness. And yeah, that's what we're doing here, right? That's what we're all doing in these lives. We're just playing and experimenting and yeah, living in our edges.
Living in
Ah,
living in the moment. Yeah.
love it.
And exposure. I feel that's like the biggest theme coming through this chat is exposure and exposing yourself. And there are still parts of you that you can like a little giggle. Yeah, exactly. Like you can expose more and more and more of yourself.
Mm,
Yeah.
And you're so ready for that.
mm,
You are so ready for that.
mhm.
Your voice is ready for that. I know it. And, you know,
Ooh.
the collaboration piece, that I talk into in this podcast as well, I'm sure that the viewers can hear the depth of our sistership. We've, yeah. So the collaboration is a key. It's a key to supporting each other and to unlocking the gifts, unlocking the codes, and having it's like secret society where we can actually speak off camera, and now obviously we're speaking on camera as well, because as Emily said, yeah, we have to be at this level of vulnerability and vocal exposure in order to help others as well to open up and to understand. Yeah, and I'm a recovering perfectionist, so that's why it's so important when we get onto the platform, whatever that platform is going to be, in whichever venue we're setting up in as the Power of Us. That we offer ourselves that right to be exactly as we are right then. And Rachel, I cannot wait to yeah. Oh look, listen to my throat there.
Oh.
Yay. To introduce you up first and to be there in real time with you. And like I've heard how you're opening your session, and yeah, it's just going to be so beautiful. And like we talk about impact and legacy. So I feel like your impact is, it's obviously you've had so many impactful moments. It feels like next week is going to be a real big impactful moment for you.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm just trying to think, like, it's just been, the, so Emily came to stay with me, and I was reading her some of my poetry, which is like a dream that I had when I was young that I totally shelved because of my own extremely high levels of perfectionism. Like, I'm so with you on that now. And then you studied singing and it killed your love of singing. I studied writing, it killed my love of writing, and for me it killed my belief that that was even possible for me, because I don't fit into the structured system of what it is to be a good writer. But I read Emily some of my poems, and it was amazing getting to read them to her. And she was like, "You have to publish a book." And I was like, "No, no, no." I instantly shut it down. But in the days that followed, and again, this echoes what we're talking about of being in each other's energy fields, reflecting and mirroring each other's brilliance back and believing in one another when the other one can't. But she was like, you planted that seed, Em. And then over the next few days, like, honestly, my face says it all, something erupted in me. And it was like, I'm a motherfucking poet. I'm a poetess. I'm a sultry, slutty poet. Like, that's what I am. And it was just, oh my God, the liberation of that, and the expansion of that, and the truth in that, and the way that made me feel. And one of the things I've talked for a long time about is like, our words are spells. The words we're casting are spells. We are casting spells in the world every time we speak, literally and metaphorically. And to be able to work intentionally with that through the medium of poetry as well is just incredible. And I've totally lost track of why I was telling this story. Was it we talked about legacy? On the day, on the day.
Yeah, with the how you're kind of how you want your audience to what do you want your audience to like leave with, you know?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think now I remember you were inferring that being on that stage on the 13th is going to be another one of those moments. And it is. I've already made, like I did in that story that I refused to tell to open the podcast. What a great way to open a podcast day. I've got a story, but I'm not going to tell you it. Never be conventional. But I've in the same vein as that moment, I've already said yes. I've already said yes to the expansion, yes to my edges. And I always have a motto of like, if you're going to do something, go big. Like, let it change you.
Yeah.
Let it take you to your edges. Don't play it safe. Just go all the way in, let yourself go all in with the experience. So, yeah, I already feel like that. I already feel like it is changing things. Saying yes is allowing me to say yes to parts of myself that desperately want to be heard and birthed and experienced.
Well, I'm super, super honored, blessed, excited because I'm the only one who's going to have little people coming to support me on the night. And like we can play up or play down our own impact in the world as much as we do, right? But my kids are going to be utterly embarrassed by me on that night. However, I know for a fact that they are going to be in awe of everybody else who's stepping up onto that stage because, it's embarrassing to have your own mum get up there. It's not so embarrassing to have other women that you can then look up to and be like, hey, they did that. I can do that, and I feel extremely blessed and grateful and honored to be in that position to be able to show, yeah, my little 12-year-old and my little 9-year-old exactly what is possible for them, that they can do whatever they want to do in life. Yeah, and I think that is what your poetry speaks of. It's what, we're demonstrating it in real time, like you say, by stepping up and standing in our vulnerability, standing in our bravery, being courageous, leading with our hearts. And yeah, it's big. It's big. It's one of the reasons why I do the work I do.
Woo! Love the talking about mirroring back our brilliance. I just want to say to you, Rach, I feel like you look different at the end of this conversation than you did at the beginning. And you talked about the hollow. Yeah, be with the hollow for a while.
Mm.
Yeah, I see a tree. I see you in the hollow of the tree. And yeah, there's so much freestyle and that free singing coming your way.
Amazing. And just, yeah, the hollow part is the trying to, like, the voice activation part um is like, yeah, a soul yes. It's like, yeah, of course, come on, this, you've known this for 5 years and you've skirted around it and ignored it. You've known this, come on, this is what you do. One of, like, a big gift that you've got. And then it was almost like my brain then came in and wanted to be like, yeah, but it's not just that, is it? It's like creativity as well. Yeah. And that's the part that feels brain led. And maybe that's actually really important for me to draw a distinction there, because there's brain led things and there's soul led things. And what you said was soul led. Like, I could feel it in my soul, of like almost like my soul was like, come on, catch up. Yes, that. And then my brain's trying to be like, but this, maybe it's this. No, this. Just.
You are the walking the walking hollow. You are the walking legacy. Wherever your voice is going to go, it's going to resonate, it's going to permeate, it's going to ripple out. Words that I've been using. But you know, your voice, I just know that go all in, once you really let yourself do that, you know, like, yeah.
And let's just put it out on the table. We all do this for each other. It's us, the ones that are able to be that courageous right now and go first, that lead the way for everybody else. And we don't get to choose how another person is activated.
No.
That's not in our control.
No, that's actually so true. We don't get to choose, do we? Like
So
that.
I'd like to finish this by just reflecting back to you, Rach, and everyone that's listening, to you, Emily, beautiful Emily, and reflecting back that brilliance that you talked about. So just taking yourself on a little journey back to where you were saying, you know, that you became a yoga teacher and you talked about your young self, and just seeing all that you've kind of collected and collated in that past 10 years. And knowing that everything has been to lead you to this point now. Everything. And as I said, you've been holding your voice in, and it's now time to let it out. You do not need permission. I know that. But I'm talking about really letting it out. It's a big voice, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Big voice, it's a big sound. And I learned galactivate. It's not that we're just activating, we're galactivating, you know? And this is the soul. There's the soul, there's the oversoul, you know, we're expanding into all this multidimensional aspects of yourself that have always been there, and now you're starting to open more of those layers. That's the edge, I would imagine, that you're talking about. And yeah, so I can't wait. And how can, because I don't like fitting into structures either, so we don't introduce ourselves here. We, as we said, we show up, and as we say, for the power of us, you know, this is not a performance, it's a movement, and we're not here to perfect, but we're here to make our presence known. But Rachel, how can our audience come and find you?
They can. Okay, so one of the ways that I'm using my voice is I have created a podcast where you get to come for a nice walk with me on Exmoor, and I will, like, people love listening to my podcast while they're doing things, you know, they love to go on a Rachel binge and just listen to me processing what it is to be alive and drawing out the gold of being alive, so that you know, don't have to. You get to hear, get to get activated, get to get inspired. Because, as Nat alluded to, like, I've had to come to terms with the fact that my voice activates people.
Mm-hmm.
It does activate people. Like, that's one of my gifts, is the way the space where my thoughts reach my storytelling throat. Like, that is one of my gifts. That's one of the activations. So you can find me at my podcast, She Loves It. I also have been having an amazing time interviewing people, which has been the biggest turn on. I used to hate interviewing people, but especially getting to do you two, I've just
Getting to do us.
I've just had the best time, and every time I get off, my body feels electric. Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Again, yeah.
That wasn't even on purpose.
Yeah, we're getting off on tuning in and doing that.
Turning on, tuning in. Yeah, so there's also amazing interviews on there. And you know what? I am a fan of Instagram. Come find me on there. Come make friends with me. Come speak into my inbox, because I love hearing people's voices and what's going on for them.
Reach out.
Reach
That's exactly. That's where the magic lives in reaching out. Yeah, and that goes back into the vulnerability piece and the power of vulnerability. Rach, thank you so much for saying yes to the Power Pod, but also for coming into the room and speaking with us. And it's happening on the 13th of November. So we're recording this 9 days before. So yeah, the 13th of November in Bristol at the Radnar Rooms, and of course this podcast will be available for people forevermore to listen. And I love listening to your podcast. You make me laugh, like you laugh out loud. It's so rich, it's so real, it's so it's delicious and divine and real.
Well, thanks, babe. I didn't know you listened. That's so nice.
Yeah.
I listen every week when they come out, and I love how you forget what you're talking about halfway. It's the best. I'm like, that's so real. Like, that's exactly what happens. And then all of a sudden something will happen, and then you'll be like, oh, I've just got to pause for a minute. And then you'll come back and you're like, I've remembered what I was talking about.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this sounds like some of our conversations that we have. What was that word again? Okay. Oh, so thank you to everybody.
Thanks, Rach.
Yeah, thanks, Rach. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. And if you are interested in what the power of us is, then you can go to my website, which is nataliefarrell.co, and go to the events page. And then you can find lots of delicious entertainment there as well, and podcasts and things like that. But also just understanding what we're creating. What we're carving out here. And if you want to speak with us or perform with us, then please go through to the performer and speaker page and apply as Rach did, and we may be meeting you in the future. Bye everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nat.
Loads of love.
Bye Emily, thank you.
Bye.